Whoa, is that functioning gameplay that actually feels decent to play? In this devlog, I'm going to show how I transform my game, from adding polish to even a boss, so let's get into it. To start off, I wanted to make the weapons feel nicer to use. To do this, I added a small blink whenever a bullet hits an enemy. Along with this, I also add a little bit of smoke that appears, and this just shows where the bullet actually hit. Next up, I started working on my next staff, which was the Earth Staff. It's going to have the same amount of power as the normal staff, except that it will go through enemies, being able to hit multiple at one time. For the attack, I wanted it to be a rock slide that travels forward. Once I had this staff in the game, I had enough to start working on the base systems on how you're going to acquire weapons. Shrines. So let me explain shrines. Once you defeat all the enemies and clear the arena, a shrine will appear. Being a normal shrine, you will activate it and then be given a choice between two weapons. These weapons will have abilities such as faster attack speed, lifesteal, and other small bonuses. These small bonuses will add variety to each weapon, as well as making each choice have a greater impact on the gameplay. These next type of shrines will only appear after the player has completed a boss fight. These shrines, when activated, will give two skills to choose from. These skills will be within each element type. If your element type of your skill matches the same element type as your staff, then the skill will actually be an upgraded version. This upgraded version will be more powerful, shoot more projectiles, be faster, and overall just better. This has the player choosing between staffs and skills, and along the run, they may have to switch elements to get more synergy. These synergies will allow the choices to feel greater, and just have more impact on the gameplay overall. I may add other systems on ways to acquire skills or weapons in the future, but for now, shrines at the end of each stage fit perfectly fine. Now on to the boss fight. To start off this boss fight, I thought about what I wanted to actually implement. I wanted this boss to have 3 different attacks and cycle between each attack. The first attack that I ended up going with is him shooting spikes directly at the player. When these spikes go back into the ground, they shoot projectiles out. The next attack I gave him was to have spikes randomly spawn around the player. This attack has the player stop moving a little bit and have to think about where their next move is going to be. The next attack I wanted to be very simple, so I had the boss just swing forward and shoot projectiles forward. With these 3 attacks, the boss was in a playable state, albeit not very good looking yet. That'll be in a future devlog. Past the staffs and the boss fight, I also did a little bit more polish. In my opinion, one of the biggest things that people overlook is the font of a game. Look at a game like Overwatch. You can look at the font and instantly tell that it's Overwatch. Going off of this, I ended up making my own font for my game. This font is very pixelated, but it's still easy to read. I think this will just give more identity to the game overall. Past these, I did a little bit more polish here and there, but I won't talk about them too much. It's a lot of little things. The game just feels a lot nicer to play overall, and with the map implemented, I can actually start playtesting and acquiring skills and weapons. Now all I have to do is start adding more content and filling out the game.